It's unclear how many unresolved crimes he took to his grave. Michel Fourniret confessed to the murders of 11 females, all teenagers and young women. In 2008, he was sentenced to life in prison without possibility of parole. His then-wife, Monique Olivier, was given a life sentence with a minimum term of 28 years for complicity. 2 years ago, following hundreds of hours of interviews, Fourniret confessed to 4 other murders, one being that of Estelle Mouzin, who disappeared 18 years ago from Guermantes, a small town east of Paris. Detectives first considered Fourniret a suspect in the girl's disappearance in 2006 after they found a photo of her on his computer, but the lead wasn't followed up. Speaking after learning of the serial killer's death on Wednesday, Mouzin's father berated the French justice system for not bringing the truth to light sooner, so that Fourniret could have gone to trial for the crime. Seen here in the grey pullover and with long grey hair, Fourniret's ex-wife Monique Olivier helps investigators search for Estelle Mouzin's body in the Ardennes, a few days before the killer's death. It's now Olivier alone who will face justice for her complicity in 3 of the murders confessed to by Fourniret in 2019. Michel Fourniret confessed to committing 2 murders a year, so many cases that they may never be resolved.
In the shadowy world of serial killers, one case stands out for its sheer darkness and horror, the case of Monique Olivier, the widow of the notorious Ogre of the Ardennes. Monique Olivier was more than a silent partner to her husband, Michel Fourniret, a known serial killer. She was an active player, a calculated accomplice who befriended young women and lured them into a deadly trap. Consider the cases of Joanna Parrish, a 20-year-old British student, and Marie-Angèle Domès, who was just 18 when she vanished. These young women were not just victims of Fourniret, they were victims of Olivier as well. Olivier used her cunning and charm to draw them into her husband's web of deceit, where their lives were brutally ended. For her role in these horrific crimes, Olivier was convicted and sentenced to life in prison. She was not just a bystander, a helpless wife caught in her husband's cruel machinations.
Les meurtres commis par le couple ont toujours été à 4 mains. Monique Olivier a encore toute sa tête. Aujourd'hui, les enquêteurs de la section de recherche de Dijon, la juge, sa greffière connaissent parfaitement le parcours de Michel Fourniret et Monique Olivier. On doit pouvoir résoudre d'autres affaires.
Monique Olivier was not just a bystander in these horrific crimes, she was an active participant. Monique Olivier did not deny her involvement. Instead, she offered a chilling confession that sent shivers down the spines of all who heard it. The courtroom fell into a somber silence as Olivier recounted her role in the heinous crimes. She painted a horrifying picture, describing herself as the bait used by her husband to lure unsuspecting young women into their deadly trap. Olivier laid bare the disturbing details of the so-called hunts for virgins. She confessed to befriending these innocent souls, only to deliver them into the hands of her monstrous husband, Michel Fourniret. The term dog was how she saw herself, a mere obedient servant to her husband's sinister desires. Her testimony was a chilling portrayal of cold-blooded complicity, the fear and panic that paralyzed her as she heard the screams of their victims, yet did nothing to intervene. "Like a coward, I do nothing," she admitted. Her confession revealed a dark side of humanity that most of us struggle to comprehend. With the conviction of Monique Olivier, a chapter closes on a dark saga that has haunted France for decades. The impact of these heinous crimes reverberated deeply within the victims' families. The pain was particularly palpable for Joanna Parrish's father, who held a moment of silence for all of the victims after Olivier's sentencing. His daughter, just 20 years old when she was brutally taken, became a symbol of the unimaginable horror that unfolded. Olivier, now 75, was already serving a life sentence handed down in 2008 for her role in 4 other kidnappings and murders committed by her husband. In 2018, she was sentenced to an additional 20 years for her part in another slaying. Her late husband, Michel Fourniret, confessed to 11 murders, but authorities suspect there could be more than 20 other victims. The case of the Ogre of the Ardennes and his accomplice wife Monique Olivier serves as a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface of ordinary lives.